Okay, let's go ahead and get started. This is the second part of the video, and now pretty much it's dry. Remember, before I use the Mod Podge, put it on with the brush, and we're going to stick this paper to the back of the to the front of the pegboard. So what you're going to need is a cutter, paper cutter, or trimmer. You're going to need some parchment paper, and I trimmed it a little bit off because you're going to need to iron this paper on. I used some painter's tape when I first got started at the very bottom down here, and then I have my handy dandy old-fashioned iron. And you want to make sure that you get an iron that does not have any steam on it. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. And remember, I said I purchased this from Harbor Freight. And now they have it on sale for $99. Before I go any further, make sure that you share this video, like this video, comment, and also follow me as well. So I'm going to go ahead and probably put this on. Let me start heating the iron up on maybe cotton or wool. So while the iron is heating up, let's try and see if I can hold this on, put this to hold it on the board. I tried to cut it just a little bit larger. I hope y'all just don't see my backside continuously. So I try to cut it a little bit larger so that it'll hold on while I am trying to iron it on. And this would have been easier to do if I had done this before we had put the board up. Okay, so what I decided to do is to come off the camera so I can attach the paper to the wall with a little bit of tape to give me a helping hand, and the iron is hot and ready to go. So let's see how this works. This is the first time I've done this, so let's hope everything turns out okay. So I got me a little stepping stool to step on here, and let's see. So I'm gonna take let me put this up here. This is going to be hard to hold it on. So I'm going to take my parchment paper, because you want to use your parchment paper to keep the paper from actually getting on your iron if you have any designs or whatever on the paper. So I should have made it go all the way down. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started with it and see what happens. Oops. Tape it up a little bit better. You know what I probably should have done also was just take parchment paper on the entire board. Okay, so let's see. So what's supposed to happen is whenever I start to press iron, put the hot iron on the parchment paper onto the board, it should start to glue the paper down. So let's see. So I've got the entire iron, and I am ironing the parchment paper, and I can feel some of the screws under the bottom here. And this should help glue the paper on. Ooh, people, it works. Yes. Okay. So now see I've got a couple of wrinkles right there. So let me make sure that I press it down really well, so it won't have that, so it's sticking right onto the board here. I hope you can tell that. So okay, so let's go on with another piece down here at the bottom. And so you can use any gift wrap paper on here, because this is what I have on here, gift wrap paper. Okay, we've got that pressed on, and I can go back and redo this. So get the gist of it. Make sure you have an iron that does not have any steam on it at all. I'm trying to iron out some of these wrinkles. I had a few right there. It would have been a lot easier to do if I had done this before. Putting the board up, but I didn't know anything about this technique until afterwards. And actually you can still see the holes on the pegboard here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of it off camera, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I come back. Okay, so I pretty much have it on here, and you can see how it looks. I've torn it in a couple of places. So I need to probably go and get my smaller irons to work on it, especially like in these little corners, because this iron gets very heavy whenever you're doing this. And the key is, probably should do this before you put your board up, before you completely attach your board. But overall, I like the way it looks. And over here in the corner, I had to cut a hole out here for this cord to go through. And with this particular table, you have a plug-in on the side of the table. So I really like that, because that's where your light, you have a light here at the top, and you have 3 plug-ins right over here on the side. And there's my light comes on. You can see that I have a couple of wrinkles in here, and I'm gonna try, probably won't be able to get some of the wrinkles out, but what I'm going to do is use a different iron. And make sure that the iron does not have any moisture or have any water on it. You want to use a hot, dry iron on this. So I have this iron. This is my handy dandy iron. I love it. I purchased this from Walmart. So if you see any of these at Walmart, you might want to get you a couple just to have a backup, because you see it looks it's identical to an iron, but it's small enough that you can get in all those little places. Okay, so I'm gonna plug it in. And so I should be able to get into all the little places down here, and it's not as heavy. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on high and sit it down. And also I have this little Cricut press iron too. This probably would have been good, but it doesn't cover as much real estate like you would want it to cover, large areas. It covers the small areas. And I can also see everywhere the pegs are supposed to go. Right here, whenever you're pressing it across. And it's drying in place, so I can definitely see where the pegs are. So I'm gonna go back over it with this, both smaller irons and get into those places that I could not get into. And let's see. Get this little iron almost hot. And I'm gonna just take another piece of the parchment paper. Just a smaller piece, because I'm only doing small areas right now. And both of these pieces will fit on this paper. So all I'm gonna do is take the parchment paper and get as close as the bottom as I possibly can. Oops. And that helps a lot. Get as close as you can with this little iron here. And this one is not heavy at all. So you can hold this there for a while. The other iron was extremely heavy. And that's why I say it's important that you go ahead and do this before. I'm gonna try without the parchment paper and see what happens. Then you have these screws too on the board as well. So let's see how this works. And this one is ready to go too. So I'm gonna try and get some of the bigger areas over here. Go through and get some of the wrinkles out. And it is working pretty good. And I'm using a little Cricut iron, and it's nice and hot. And I've got it plugged in on the side of the work bench here. And remember I said we purchased this from Harbor Freight, and right now it is on sale for $99. Try and get some of those wrinkles on. And I really don't mind it having wrinkles in here on some of these places. Because this is the first time that I've done this, and I just want to try it out to see if it would really work. And it does. And I'm pleased with the outcome. Now on the sides where I had some pretty rough looking areas, I've got some decorative tape that I have purchased from the Dollar Tree, and I can just put a border around here to cover that up if I want to. So there's always different ways you can, if you make a mess, to make sure that you can clean it up. Just going back over this because I want to make sure I can see all of these holes here, and I can. I really do like it though. So you can choose any gift wrap paper that you like to do this. And remember I said that I would put at the very bottom I got this idea from. And it came from Homegirl Cookies. Homegirl Cookies. I will also have it listed at the very bottom so you can see in the description where to get this from. So anyways, have a happy Sunday. This is our little secret. Make sure you share and like and tell everybody you know. And make sure you give it a thumbs up. And also make sure you start to follow me on YouTube and TikTok. I do appreciate you. Keep on stitching and have a fantastic Sunday. Bye.